What's up, you guys? We are back. Today's workout is a little something different. Instead of just providing you with a challenge to take on in the form of a workout, we're using this as a chance to raise not only awareness, but a chance to raise some money for a pretty large disparity that isn't on a lot of our radars. I didn't realize that it's as big of a problem as it is, but I feel fortunate to have learned about this so that I can do something about it. Carlin, thank you very much for passing this along. She found a workout that's called Black Mothers Matter, and the idea behind this is to highlight some of the numbers that illustrate the disparities between black mothers and non-black mothers, and there's actually some pretty alarming disparities there. So as opposed to just taking this thing on and just taking the rep scheme for what it is and just doing what it says, I really encourage you guys to take a look at some of these numbers, read what they're all about, and to educate yourself on what some of these things mean. And then after that, if you can, I know it's kind of a tough time and people are strapped for cash, but if you can, we're asking that you join us in donating to an organization called Black Mamas Matter Alliance, the Black Mamas Matter Alliance, in hopes of raising funds for to help bridge the gap in some of these disparities that are plaguing the community. So that's our effort for today. So I'll go through the workout, but I really want you guys to take an extra second and look at what some of these numbers mean, understand where they come from. We're sending out an internal email to all the Twin Top members about this, but it will also be posted on our Instagram page where all these things come from, so that you know, and we're not just taking on a workout just to take on a workout. That's part of it, but we want to educate ourselves, and even more than that, we want to be able to do something actionable about it to help bridge the gap between these disparities. So that's the plan for today. The warm-up, we got a couple different movements here. We're going to start with some bootstrappers. So I'm going to go to a squat stance. I'm going to grab a hold of my toes, and I'm just going to go back and forth between being in a squat and then being in a forward fold. So I lift my hips up, fold forward, and then I sit back down into the bottom of my squat. Just doing that 5 times. Next, I'm going to do a movement called a windmill. I'm going to go wide with my feet. Both toes are going to point off to the right. My right hand goes inside my right leg and my left hand goes up. So whichever direction my toes point, that hand goes on my leg. I'm going to keep both legs locked, that's important, as I slide my hand down my leg and touch my ankle and then stand back up. So we're just looking for a little bit of stretch in the back of the front leg as we do this. If you're too wide, you won't feel any stretch. And if you're too narrow, your knee might need to bend. So find the distance between your feet that's appropriately wide for you, so that when you fold, you feel a little stretch in the back of your leg, but that you never have to bend that leading leg. So we're going to do 5 on one side, then we'll switch. Toes point to the left. Now my left hand's inside my left leg, my right hand's up. I'm just gently sending my hips back, reach down, touch my ankle, and then stand back up. You can even work on rotating your shoulder as you go. So rotate one way, and then go back the opposite way as you stand back up. After that, 5 push-ups. If push-ups are challenging for you, start these out from your knees. Do something that feels like an appropriately challenging warm-up movement for you. You should not be struggling in the warm-up, okay? So I go to my toes, rock forward, touch my chest, then push back up. If that's too much, you can do the same thing from your knees. And then last but not least, we're gonna do jumping jacks, okay? Pretty straightforward. So for the workout today, as I mentioned, it's called Black Mothers Matter. As it was written, it's actually written as a 4-round workout. But since we do these at-home ones live, we want everybody to be moving through the workout at the same pace. We made this thing a 20-minute workout. So you're just cycling through this as many times as you can in 20 minutes. Some of these reps are pretty big sets, so make sure you guys are pacing yourselves accordingly, taking rest when is needed, and if you need to scale back some of these quantities, please feel free to do it. Quality is always what matters most, so make this workout what you need it to be. And if you have questions, you can always shoot me an email, get in touch. I'd be more than happy to send you some different versions of this so that you can take on the version of it that makes the most sense for you. All right, so we're gonna go for 20 minutes. The equipment version is gonna start with 5 dumbbell thrusters. So we're gonna put the dumbbells. I'm not gonna go through where all these numbers come from, but I'd really encourage you guys to check out on our Instagram page where we have everything listed out, what they mean. So for the thruster, I'm just gonna put the dumbbells on my shoulders, squeeze my belly, my hips go back, my knees go out into a squat, and then I stand and press. So I stand up out of my squat and press, okay? It's not just to stand up and then press, it's a stand and press. It should be one motion. Next, I'm gonna do 15 bent over dumbbell rows. So I brace my shoulders back, I squeeze my belly and bend my knees, and then I fold forward till my back is something close to parallel to the ground, and then I lift the dumbbells to my ribs and then come back down, okay? So 15 of these, nice and slow. There should be no movement through your back as you do. After that, we're doing some hand-to-hand swings. So I have the dumbbell, I'm gonna swing back between my legs, and I open my hips, transition hands, swing back and switch, okay? If this is too much, or if it feels sketchy, like you might lose track of the dumbbell or something, send that thing hurtling across the room, don't do that. You can just hold on to it with both hands. Or if you have a kettlebell, that's even better, okay? Swing back, open your hips, and swing to about shoulder height. When we're doing these things, think about keeping your belly tight so that your back stays flat, okay? I'm not bending my knees any more than just this as I work, okay? So it's coming from my hips closing and my hips opening, not from doing a squat, which brings us to our next movement, our squats. We got a set of just 60, no big deal, 60 of them. You're gonna go to a squat stance with your feet at about shoulder width. Toes are for the most part gonna point straight forward. 11 and 1 as an angle is just fine, but do try to keep them pretty much straight forward. We're gonna keep our belly tight, hips back, knees go out, we squat down, and then stand back up. Nice and easy on those. 60's a lot, so if you need to decrease the quantity to make sure that you're maintaining quality reps as you go. That is the equipment version. The body weight version, we're gonna do down dog handstand push-ups, plank hip taps, hollow rocks, and squats. So down dog handstand push-ups, I start in down dog, and I'm trying to form a triangle with my hands and my head at the bottom of each rep. So if my hands are at about shoulder width, I want my head to touch out in front of them, okay, at about equal distance apart. So I'm gonna get into down dog, and then I usually start these by walking my feet a little bit closer to my hands than I would if I was just stretching. So I get into like an even more aggressive down dog position that I would just kind of like stretch in. And then I'm trying to rock my way forward before I lower down, okay? And again, remember that we're trying to touch the top of our head to in front of our hands. This will make it more challenging, so if you need to put some books down to elevate the ground a little bit, that is totally all good. Hands at shoulder width. I walk my feet in close to my hands, rock my way forward, touch the top of my head, push up and back, okay? Down dog handstand push-ups, always a good time. They're tough, so make sure to scale as is needed. I put some books down to elevate the ground. I put a pillow down, something like that. Next up, plank hip taps. It's exactly what it sounds like. I go to a plank right here, right hand to left hip, left hand to right hip, back and forth, nice and slow. I'm trying to avoid letting my hips swivel back and forth as I go. All right, after that, 30 hollow rocks. So I'm gonna lay on my back. These are kind of tricky because they're really subtle. It's not a big drastic range of motion, but there's still some things that you can do that will help you stay in a better position. First is your shoulder blades need to be up off the ground, okay? Second is your behind needs to be on tension, okay? Those two things help you create a hollow shape through your body so that you can gently rock back and forth. If one of those two isn't on tension, meaning if your shoulder blades aren't up or if your butt's not flexed, you're just gonna kind of sit on your butt and then fall back and down, hit your shoulder blades, then sit on your butt. What we're trying to do is the opposite. We're trying to gently rock forwards and back without letting our back kind of arch up off the ground, okay? So start by just laying on your back, grab your knees, rock back, rock forward. So now it's pretty easy to keep the small of my back on the ground. And then as you get comfortable, you can start to extend even more and see if you can gradually get to this shape, okay? So that's a full hollow rock. Again, if you need to scale by quantity, scale by quantity. 30 is kind of a lot, so make sure that you bump that back a little bit, as is needed. And then the mobility for the day, so that covers the bodyweight version of this thing. The mobility for the day is gonna be 3 minutes in a supported squat hold, and then 3 minutes in child's pose. I think I wrote child's pose. All right, so I don't have anything great here, but I could say if this thing was a big heavy table or something, I could hold on to this and just sit down on the bottom of my squat and use this to help keep me in as vertical a squat as I possibly can. So I'm trying to stay as vertical through my back as possible. With my heels flat to the ground, same squat mechanics as I always would have. So feet straight forward for the most part, knees are pushing up. I'm just trying to hang out, taking my hips, knees, and ankles through some full range. And then I finish it up in child's pose or child's post as it's written here. My knees are gonna go out wide. I sit my hips back over my heels, and then I just gently crawl my hands out in front of me, get a little stretch through the shoulders. We're just chilling out, 3 minutes there. That's it for today, you guys. There's no accessory work or anything like that after the workout because it's kind of a long one. Remember to educate yourself. See what this workout's all about. It's really important. It's good stuff. We should all just do what we can to educate ourselves on some of these disparities in our society, and then do what we can to help make them better. We have an opportunity to do something today, so let's do it and have a good workout in the process. Hope you guys have a good day. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, hit me up. I'm always happy to help. That's it for this one, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.